Good afternoon, it's March the 17th, Lionheart 84 here. I've been waiting for a break in the rain to do a short garden update. I'm not going to call it a tour because the garden's too small to call it a tour, but this is my March update. I'm probably going to try and do I guess I'll probably do one update a month unless something interesting happens, like something unusual comes into flower. There's no point doing weekly because not a lot happens in the difference in the plant growth. So we're starting here. I've got a few gladioli here. These were actually some free bulbs I've got with a couple of fruit trees I bought from a company. I can't remember which company now, but when the trees turned up there was a bag of bulbs, so I've planted them. Don't know what sort of colour or size gladioli they are, but they seem to be doing okay. These are my these belong to my brother. I've been looking after them over winter. These I think Ionium Schwarzkopf. And I noticed today when I put them out today to get some rain, because I've had to be inside in the winter. I'm not sure if that's going to focus, but they've got a mealybug infestation on them, which is hiding underneath the crowns of the plants. So I should be spraying them with something a little bit later to see if we can deal with those. Yeah, there's quite a lot of mealybugs on them at the top, just hiding underneath the leaves. That's why I didn't notice them when they were in my kitchen, but I'll deal with those a little bit later. Now, moving around, before it rains again, these are some of my persimmons, which, as you can see, looks like the buds are coming right out now. Very unusual, really, for the middle of March. I wouldn't expect persimmons to be coming into growth until the middle of April here in the UK, but nevertheless, all the potted ones are budding out, and I think we'll be seeing some growth soon. Just hope we don't get any particularly cold weather. There's a larger one there. That's a chocolatino, that variety. And behind it there's a pomegranate. That's not coming into leaf yet. Moving around, it's interesting because these are some of my these were bare root persimmons I bought. Now, I know a lot of people are really big fans of bare root plants because they think they establish better and you get a better plant for your money, but I'm not actually a huge fan of them. They're certainly way behind the ones in pots. I'm a bit of a fan of container growing plants when you buy them, because I normally find the roots are quite well established, and you know, when you repot them they seem to get growing much quicker. This is actually an Asian pear. Now, this was bare root and it was only planted up probably a couple of months ago if you look at my videos, and it's already got flower buds coming out on it, which has surprised me. Theoretically I should probably take them off, but I think I'm tempted to leave them on and see the flowers. I don't think they'll set any fruits because obviously this was a bare root tree planted quite recently. Some of the figs seem to be starting to some of the figs are starting into growth already, which has surprised me again. I wouldn't expect to see them out till at least April. And if you look at this one here, there seem to be some Braber figs developing already, so it's quite early in the season. I mean, in this country, because we have fairly short summers, we have to rely on really Braber crops to get our figs. And again, the other branch here has got some as well. Another bare root persimmon. No sign of any life on that one as yet. And behind it there's a pawpaw. Actually, although these are dormant till probably normally May, there are actually some flower buds starting to develop. The large tree behind is a pomegranate that's starting to come out into growth now. That's one I potted up in the autumn. That's in the largest pot size it's going to get. Again, there's another dormant persimmon here. Nope, the rain's coming back again, but hopefully I'll be able to get this video finished. So, and again, that persimmon there, also bare root, that's a costata. Now I've cut that one back and the top of the plant's definitely dead, but I do think I scraped the bark lower down, there was a little bit of green, so I'm fairly optimistic that one will still come back. But when you compare it to the persimmons that I bought at the same time, that were all pot growing, they were all in small containers, and I've potted them onto large containers. When you look at the growth on those, you can see why I prefer the ones bought in containers. This is the one that I unwrapped about a week ago. That's a persimmon giro, and even that one's starting to get buds come out. I haven't repotted that one because I think that container will probably do okay for the time being. Carrying on around, these here are my Kiwi chocolate vines. Again, bought in containers. They're absolutely covered in flowers already, which is amazing for the middle of March. Very attractive flowers. You need 2 flowering to get fruits on them, but that's not a problem. So moving on very quickly because it's definitely starting to rain. Still plenty of flowers on the camellia. That's the pink one, although obviously the flowers go a little bit brown as they die off. And next to it I've got a beautiful scarlet version that's well, it's absolutely smothered in flowers. I also noticed this morning that I've got some fritillaries out. I think that's fritillaria, I'm not sure, snake's head fritillary I think they call that. So that might be Fritillaria miliagris. I'll have to have a look later and check the Latin name on that. So I'm pleased they're doing well. This is my largest fig. This is the one I put in last summer. Even that's starting to break out into growth yet. That's probably 6 feet tall. Well, that's not very easy to see it. Rhododendron coming into flower fairly soon. Daffodils coming up. Just a quick peek under my protective cover. Yep, that is a lemon on my Myers lemon that's been outside all winter. Still got a lemon on it, looks in perfectly good condition. Obviously I've kept it covered under this dome to protect it from the worst of the frosts, so that's doing very nicely. Behind it is a daphne in full flower. Shame you can't smell the scents because they smell absolutely fantastic on here. Let's move that piece of dead leaf. Behind it, that's a Chilean firebush. It's doing quite well. Another camellia. The small plant down there is a Chilean guava. That's an ugni. That's the hardiest one. That's the one we can grow outside all year round. Against the wall, bursting out into growth, is my kiwi. That's Actinidia arguta issi. That's the self-fertile small kiwi, the one where you can eat the skin as well. It's not hairy. It looks like a small gooseberry. That seems to come through the winter well. Update on the blueberries, they're all coming into bud. Yep, you can see the flower buds starting to come out in the blueberries. I've got 3 of those, all different varieties. That's the largest plant, so we should get some fruits this year if I can keep the birds off them. The passion flower seems to have survived the winter. That's not a fruiting one, that's a flowering variety. Running back through the other plants, there's one of my fijoas, or Acaciloiana. That's the pineapple guava, fully hardy here, don't normally crop. I've got a larger specimen here, much bigger. That should have plenty of flowers on it this year. Here's another small pomegranate I've got planted in the ground, and tucked away behind there is an unnamed variety of persimmon. It's coming out quite well. I've also got another pawpaw behind there. That variety is sunflower. Not a fruiting plant. That's one of my Australian bottle brushes. And the 3rd variety of Fijoa, that's either a mammoth or a triumph. I can't remember which one's which. And another considerably bigger pawpaw here. So those don't come out. They don't normally leaf out in the UK until about May. So, but I'm really pleased with the way some of the plants are sort of starting off very early. I said the pineapple guavas have done very well over winter. No problems with them at all. It was a challenge to keep the lemon alive, and that seems to have survived very well. No sign of growth on the jujubes. I don't think they come out till May or June. They're very, very late in this country. The rain held off long enough for me to keep the video going. Like I said, the Asian pears, going to have some flowers on those, and bare roots, so there's probably no roots hardly in the pot to support them. I think I've got about 6 varieties of figs. So that's my very short garden update. As I said, my plan is to do one once a month because the garden's too small and too boring to be doing them any more often than that. But I will run a short video if something comes in the flower and I think anybody's of interest. Incidentally, underneath this green fleece, I'm trying to overwinter, I think they call it elephant's ears, an alocasia of some sort. I cut the leaves off and I put that under a green fleece because obviously it's not frost hard, you know. I didn't have any room inside for it, so we will see. Probably about mid-April I'll uncover that and see if I've got a slimy mess of rotting plants or if it's doing quite well. But very pleased with how the persimmons are doing. I think I've got about 12 varieties now, some American and some Japanese, so I'm hoping to see plenty of growth on them this year. I don't think we'll see any flowers, although there's a possibility. I've got one large one tucked away behind there, which is a Rojo Brillant. That's quite a large plant in a largish container, so there is a possibility we might get a few flowers on that this year, but I don't think we'll have any fruit development. But we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go and get some treatment out to deal with these mealy bugs. And thank you for watching. That's my March update, and hopefully I'll do an update about the middle of April and another one in the middle of May, and we'll see if any of these plants have developed to a higher standard. And I'll have to reorganise the pots, and otherwise we'll have no room to sit out here when the weather gets better. Thank you for watching. If my video is of any interest to you, then by all means please like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want updates for any new videos coming out. Thanks a lot. Bye.